Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to OK Aussie. I hope you've got your favourite fidget toy because you're probably going to need it. It's a bit of an autistic conversation this morning. I'm Matt. This is Diane. That's Max. He's not in shot yet, but he probably will jump into shot very shortly. She's holding on, and that's a really, really difficult thing to do because Diane is autistic, ADHD, OCD. Actually, so am I on all those three. But she has Tourette, she has neurological things going on, seizures, and all this other sort of stuff because of a genetic chromosomal condition called 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. In fact, those people with that condition, 30 to 40% of them will be autistic. 50 to 60% of them will have ADHD, hyperversion on steroid version of ADHD. But that's not what the conversation is about today. It is actually very much an autistic trait conversation for a Sunday morning. Diane's trying to do so well. That's why I've given her some sensory toys to play with. Here's another one in case you need that one. Are you doing a Marcel Marceau? Today's conversation is not actually about overthinking. I'm actually going to bring it back into being something a bit more about the fact of a delayed thinking approach that a lot of autistics might actually deal with. I'm going to read some information around this, and then we're going to give Diane the floor to be able to put her insight from her perspective. A person with classic autism, on the spectrum, ASD, autism spectrum disorder, late diagnosed, but most females are because unfortunately, as we already know, all the autism research has been done on boys. I'm lucky, you're not so lucky in that regards. Hey, but you know, being selective mutant to 11 years of age, it was missed. Crazy, right? So the conversation, I'm presenting a theory of autism that suggests that individuals on the spectrum may experience delayed processing, impacting their ability to respond quickly and effectively in social and in cognitive tasks. The reason I'm saying this, and I was having a conversation, social storing with Diane, and that's what we do to be able to break apart a situation to work out what's going wrong. What can we do differently as neurodiverse people to try and integrate or work with the neurotypical people? Just don't get us neurodiverse people. So, not everybody's on the spectrum, but spectrum's a big deal. Let's find out a bit more about how we can make it a little bit easier for them to understand us and how the two of us can integrate a little bit better. What I've seen as a practical scenario to this is that Diane is put on the spot in meetings. And that's pretty difficult for her because she can be distracted with ADHD, go off on tangents, you know, oh, look, there's something bright and sparkly over there. She can have OCD, go around and around and around and around in loops. Auditory processing, she might go, I didn't quite catch that, or might hear the very first part about it, not hearing the second part about it. Executive functioning, you're giving her too much information. She's heard the first thing, she's still thinking about that, and you're talking about the 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th thing. You gotta slow things down. So let's come back to this theory that I'm presenting about that autism suggests that individuals on the spectrum may experience delayed processing, impacting their ability to respond quickly and effectively in social cognitive tasks. I'm going to read through this part here, and like I said, we're going to ask Diane to respond. So this theory proposes that autistic individuals may engage in more deliberate, on purpose, slower processing, while potentially exhibiting a reduced intuitive, faster processing. This can manifest as the need for more time to process information, interpret situations, and formulate responses, leading to perceived delays in their reactions. Key aspects of the theory include deliberate versus intuitive processing. A bit more about that. Autistic individuals may rely upon slower, analytical, logical processing, so it's deliberate, compared to the faster, more automatic and intuitive processing often used by neurotypical individuals. That's our doorbell ringing in the background. It's actually not ringing, it's just a person going past, that's fun. Sensitivity to time context. Studies suggest that the reasoning style of autistic individuals is sensitive to time constraints. So when some finding that they can perform better when given more time to process information. What's really, really important. And take it back to, like I said, Diane's got 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. Her genetic specialist has actually communicated to the entire hospital to say, slow it down, guys. You need to give her more time in appointments, so double billing for that. Provide diagrams, pictures, to actually explain 1,000 words. Listen and give one information or one instruction at a time and wait for that response to come back in. I'm also adding to that because sometimes with the information data dump that's provided, you have to go away, reflect, think, consider, ponder, determine what you want, and then come back into the conversation with a more informed approach of going, yeah, I get what you've said. Now I have the answer. This is what I'd like to do. Or here's the information that you actually wanted. So there's the potential overload and fatigue component. Rapid or unexpected changes in the environment or social situations can lead to sensory overload. And we know what that happens. That also adds to cognitive fatigue. She's already fatigued with a fatiguing condition. She's already cognitively offline with a neurological condition. Potentially, it's going to exacerbate delays in processing and responses. I always found it funny with a person who's got so many neurocognitive things, neurodevelopmental things, autism, neurodevelopmental, ADHD, neurodevelopmental, Tourette's, neurodevelopmental, and then having seizures where your brain's going offline, brief respite because of absent seizures, offline with other components of the seizure. How are you meant to be able to think, process, and if you're not getting enough oxygen to the brain, because we already know she's deoxygenated, does that make sense? Anyway, individual differences. We're all individuals, even as autistics. Okay, we can have an autistic day more so on one day than on the next. We're a spectrum. Even though there's 3 different levels of autism, you might be high, low, or medium. Are you playing with my sensory toy? He's an autistic cat. You can play with it, I'll let you. You can be very starkly different to someone else. So if you've met one person with autism, you've only met one person with autism. The potential benefits, while delayed processing can present challenges, it can also be associated with strengths such as enhanced focus and on details and improved accuracy in certain tasks. You know what, I'm going to take a little bit of a snapshot that Diane doesn't always mention, but she actually went on after failing in primary and high school, going out of high school at a year 11, with really only a grade 7 sort of level, she found a way to learn appropriately. She was taught by someone who had patience to slow it down, find out how she needs to learn, and she then excelled. She not only finished her high school levels, went on to technical and further education at TAFE, went on to university to study psychology, was on the dean's list for exceeding and actually receiving the highest grades and levels for some of her assignments and exams, but she also went on to solve one of the problems that are presented to her cohort of students, all students at the university, each and every year, that hadn't been solved for multiple years. This one spent 8 hours to go away, to deliberate, think, to ponder, to consider, and came back with the answer that no one else could ever solve. So I want to put that into context. There are time-delayed strategies that we need to consider here. Supporting strategies often involve providing additional time for processing, like I said in the hospital, that's useful. Simplifying the information, diagrams, pictures, dot points, using clear and concise language. Don't waffle, don't add in noise, be precise. Okay? Get to the point of the conversation or the meeting. Meetings don't have to be long, they can be short, sharp, and succinct to the point. And reduce the cognitive load. One purpose, get that purpose done before you move on to the next. So in essence, the theory of delayed processing in autism suggests a different way of taking in, interpreting, and responding to information which can have profound implications for the social interaction, communication, and overall experience of the world. That's my brief little summary. Like I said, I promise I'll deliver. I hope I've painted a picture, given some examples. Now, whilst Max, our cat, is playing with my sensory toy, there he is. Do you like my sensory toy? I hope you've got your sensory toy ready. You might be on the spectrum at home. You might be autistic yourself. You might be in the family and have a person who's on the spectrum. You might be related to. You might be in a relationship. This might relate to you. Or you might have to work or deal or interact with people on the spectrum. The Australian government only this year is actually putting together, for the first time in 2025, a strategy, a blueprint, a document, a guideline for engaging, interacting, and working with autistics, whether it's in the community, in hospitals and medical scenarios, in education, in workplaces. This is one of the reasons why 76% of autistics can't actually hold and maintain, sustain a job in the workplace, because sometimes we just don't get understood. So Diane, now that you've been able to hold on, and you've done really well, because you know what, turn taking is incredibly difficult. Taking in lots of information is very difficult, but we have been focused. I've set you up with a sensory toy to help you focus your thoughts and processes. You've given me the time. I really appreciate that. I'm not going to overtalk you. I want you to now talk to the situation about what we've just brought up, because I think the people at home, and if you're new to the channel, hi, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell while you're here. I want you to add into the comments your own experience, what you think and reflect from what I've just said, and also about what Diane's going to tell us.
Oh, it's raining.
It's nice, isn't it? I like rain on a Sunday.
Sorry, it's so hard for me to not talk.
No, don't be apologetic.
It's only because of the topic. If he was just talking about, I don't know, in a natural talk, I'm not like this. I'm not that much of a, I need to be the one speaking all the time. It's just the topic. I had an epiphany today, and
Light bulb.
a light bulb moment about myself, which can help others understand me, help me understand how to process, well, to interchanging cognition with others.
Oh, big words.
I don't know how else to speak. I'm being autistic today. Being autistic is a choice.
Today I choose to be autistic.
Okay, what I mean by that is I can't mask today. I apologise if I'm going to be weird. But the mask, I'm too slim. I can't mask. Put it out. I don't even have the words.
A mask is slick.
There's no words for my exhaustion and my life experiences. You all know, you've been watching my journey, especially if you've been watching it for a long time. But the cognitive exchanges with people, it could be social, it could be meetings, it could be both of that in one, it could be making decisions, okay, setting goals with people, anything in the moment, okay. And there's a lot of that because in life we do everything in the moment. Well, some people, like the millennials, sometimes, you know, you'll send a text and you might get one 10 years later. And it's like, oh, okay, I got a response. What happened? Did someone die? You know, it's not like that. It's processing, I've noticed for myself, and I would love the feedback of every neurodivergent who has processing disorders, to say in the comments what your processing is, or think about it and come back and say it. Mine is 3 days. Not business days, just days.
Okay,
maybe, but maybe it could be extended if I'm busy.
Okay, 72
Because my
hours.
brain can be sometimes, if I'm busy and I'm got lots of like, you know, say I'm in like my ADHD mode and my projects are going on, or a hyper focus, c'est la vie, you know, like I'm out of here, like I'm not here. It might be delayed more, but generally, majority of the time, 3 days, 72 hours. Because it's 24, 24, 24. I'm not talking about just the 8 hours each day. I just sit in the background is processing that old information. I'm not saying I'm processing it current, like I'm not, no. That happens in the moment because I have OCD. And so things combined with processing disorder, when someone speaks to me, because I want to get rid of the OCD quickly so that I don't have to go round and round and round and round about it.
What would help you?
And the second thing is I know I have a processing disorder because I can feel it. Because I've got it.
And accepting the condition.
So I'm trying to work out, how do I make this decision? I've got to look at all these variables, and there's a lot of variables, and then I've got to study each variable. And by the time I finish doing that, then I can say the answer. But I don't need that stress, so I want to answer in the moment. So I do, and I answer wrong. Because for me, who's not neurotypical, which in neurotypical's world, not saying 100% of the time, but majority of the time, you can do that in the moment. I know what I want. No, this is right.
Are you feeling forced or compliant to have to provide the socially appropriate, I need to give an answer, a response because they're expecting it? And maybe is it the first thing that comes to your mind or the most suitable solution?
It's masking.
So it's masking.
You basically respond. Yes, you're taking into account what you can and can't tolerate. Normally not as your person. This is the saddest thing about autism, for my level of autism. So any of you that can relate, you'll just know by hearing this. We don't even take into account our personality as in what we want.
Your needs.
We are too busy going, what can my autism handle? You respond based on that, and then you add in there scripting for girls, for women turns into people pleasing. So by the time you get to my age, by the time you're in your 20s, by the time you become an adult, you're people pleasing. Because as a child, you had to people please. Do you know why? If you didn't mask, even if you were given the choice to not, in my era, because they didn't know enough about it like you guys do now, punishment.
So it
If
has
you
consequences.
didn't make a decision, if you didn't just respond, if you didn't process and get it done, punishment was the only response you got.
There's 2 points I also want to
So
throw in here.
you mask and you just go, well, what can I handle autistically? This. But you don't even take into account you.
Correct.
As
That's really
in not
interesting.
just the autistic side of you, which you can't separate from you, yes, but your personality is like, but am I the type of person that likes life that way?
Okay.
Because I'm a free range chicken.
She's a
That
free-range
sounds
chicken.
like a caged chicken style. And people like to be codependent. People like to be dependent. And me, I'm fiercely independent. I actually get frustrated, even just being in a relationship. I'm the type of autistic that's like, freedom. Don't make me me feel like there's just one. And you know, marriage. God, you did that to me. I don't know why you gave me autism and marriage. Maybe autistic shouldn't be married. We're shocking. It's like, don't tell me what to do. Don't control me. No, I don't want to share. Get stuffed. Like, I just want to do me.
You brought up
Because
masking.
I have to mask.
You brought up masking, and masking keeps coming as one of the responses of how do I manage a situation, whether it's a social situation or a business meeting, whatever else. And just take a breath from it and recoup. A lot of the female autistic behaviours of learning, overload cognitively, is that you learn actually by watching TV shows and other things. Someone, and I've seen this too, because you actually pull out that scripted sense a lot of time in your early, and the people around you. You learn by watching these behaviours. If you're put on the spot, you might not have the ability to go, oh, what video, Gilmore Girls or Big Bang, what video do I actually bring from the sequence to be able to put into that? That's one thing. The social stories, I know over the last 20 years particularly, we've used social stories to death. You'll come away from a situation, you'll start the reflection, you'll go, first of all, what happened?
What's going on? Feelings are happening, cards.
You have alexithymia, so you can't read your own internal feelings, let alone see someone else's feelings. You have facial blindness, so that makes it difficult too.
I only pick one card if it's quite mild, and then it can be like, it's been up to 5. 5 emotions at once. I'm a woman.
And you also can't read body language, so that doesn't help you to understand what's going on.
So we don't kill the babies.
So we have to use social stories. And that's where it comes back to, that's why you said 72 hours. You need all this processing time to go, first of all, what was the intent or purpose of what the people, what was their personality, what was their communication style?
Have you noticed how long, when you sign contracts, sometimes there's hours.
The breathing space.
For a reason. They fucking know this shit, right? It's been a secret.
So if contracts might have a 48-hour or 72-hour
there's
clause,
a fucking reason.
For
so I have a clause,
impulsivity.
Guys. So it's the Diane Lindley Moore clause.
It's the Diane Lindley Moore clause. Okay. What's Diane's clause?
So when you're working with me with cognition, right? You have to, and it's only if things
respectfully.
You have to understand that I might come back to you 3 days later and go, you know that thing we talked about? Yeah, nah. Opposite.
Yeah, nah.
It's actually the opposite of what I said in the moment.
Upon reflection, I now think this.
There's a difference though, and I'm going to actually say this. We can't forget this, and there's studies done on and sorry to offend of using the terminology because I love you guys that are Chinese. I love you. I love your culture.
Love your traditions, actually.
Chinese whispers. They did a study, peer-reviewed, empirical study here. This is no bullshit study. It's a scientific study based on autistics and neurotypicals. The neurotypicals would be in one line and the autistics in the other line, and they'd both do Chinese whispers, right? And they'd get higher positive results compared to when they mixed them, right? And did the same thing with a total different group, because of course you've got to control all the variables. Total different group where they don't know who's autistic and who's not. They mix them because they know who's who. So the experimenters, right? And so they did that, and they got way worse results in the end result of the Chinese whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Now they did this over and over in different studies all around.
Replicated studies.
Okay, so that they didn't get just, this might be one university with a certain type of culture and a certain type of social thing, and there's maybe like a lot of autistics there, and they all know it, and they all talk to each other, and they all know, I know you're autistic, or I know you're neurotypical. That's why they do these things.
So the theory has been accurately replicated.
It's accurate. So this is different for, and I do have to point this out because some of us work with each other cognitively. If you're getting it right with someone all the time and they don't know they're autistic, just let them know nicely. Just be careful with that one, because some people don't like being told that they're autistic. I learned that the hard way.
They might be autistic and worthwhile getting tested.
I learned that the hard way. Or sometimes you'll tell someone and then years later they realise it and they're like, they don't thank you for it. They take all credit for it. It's like, excuse me, I told you that. Told you that 2 fucking years ago.
All right, recycle
Anyway,
back around.
so basically,
focusing
3 days. For the people that you're getting it right, they're most likely on the spectrum. So the people that you'll find you'll be the same as me. You're not getting it right. And you go back, and then what do you get? You're an overthinker. No, I'm not. You think I've been thinking about this for days? Nope.
So that comes
I've
back.
done this.
And when you
I've
say
done that, I've
overthinking,
done this,
I take that
in this
term
3
as
days. I've been busy.
I take that term as a negative when it's said in that light. It's basically saying that you've got
Of course I do,
anxiety, you're stressing,
Yeah, stop stressing over it.
you're thinking
we talked
too
about
much.
that 3 days ago, and it's
We've
like,
moved on now.
No. I'm trying to tell
You've
you.
moved on.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you that, like, we need to re-clarify, because some things have changed. Maybe everything's changed.
Yeah.
Or maybe nothing's changed. I just want to tell you, I get you now.
And I'm reinforcing that.
I get you in the sense of, I kind of like saw what you would have saw that day, and I'm trying to now talk to you about it because it needs to be clarified. Because in life, part of relationship building is communication.
Communication.
If you didn't
Novel
communicate to your friends,
idea.
to your colleagues, to your boss,
How will they
to
know
your
anything?
partner, to anyone, even in professionals, you go to your lawyer and you sit there. If you don't talk, how can they do business?
Yep.
So basically, at the end of the day, the verbal has to happen, and 3 days later, you need to listen to that autistic and go, right, this is the truth now. 3 days ago, that person, because they've got processing disorder, I need to listen, this is more accurate. The 3 days ago, it was them probably just trying to, like, fix it.
So 3 days ago, it
They're
was
trying to fix it.
impulse, masking,
Just
giving
trying
an
to fix
answer
it.
to
I don't know.
appease.
That sounds good.
Deliberate,
I don't know.
3 days, 72
Yeah.
hours, reflective. And now, when we say 72 hours,
We don't see some
it's,
things.
I'm just going to say
There's
for some moment,
blindness to things.
it's not a rule of thumb. It's not, you have to have exactly 72 hours.
No, it's just
But the caveat to that,
days later.
but hold on, there is a caveat to that for you, I noticed. You need the time, let's say 72 hours as a window, to reflect, consider, ponder.
But do come back.
But do come back, because
Otherwise,
when you
I'm
don't
like, hang
come
on.
back, you're left hanging, aren't you?
I'm like this.
And miss, yes, you're in the back.
Teachers used to ignore me.
Yes, you're in the back.
This is
What are you
me.
ducking? Oh, that was the chalkboard.
See, I learned to
Duster.
speak in high school, so I'm like this in high school.
You just kept your arm up, and the teacher's
And
going,
the
"Oh,
teachers
shit."
are like, you've got to stop doing. I even
You've got to stop asking questions.
I ended up at the office.
For asking questions?
I ended up at the office.
Too keen. She was too keen.
The office is a long way.
You had so many
from
questions.
classrooms. I had to walk past the beach volleyball pit.
Oh, that's your favourite spot.
I wanted to just go put my feet in there for
That's
a
a
while
sensory
before
overload.
going to the office.
Okay, there's a sensory stim there.
So I was like,
And why were you sent to the office
wish it
for?
was beach volleyball.
Why was you sent
Wish
to
it
the
was
office?
summer. What?
Why were you sent to the
So,
office? What did you do this time?
I was always sent
That's
to the
not-
guidance lady. Whatever she was.
Let's call her the camp counsellor for the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Camp counsellor, whatever.
Okay, sure. And why were you sent this time?
I'd get in there, I'd be like, what?
What'd you do this time, Di?
What? And she'd be like, look, you keep asking questions in class. I'm like,
What's wrong with that?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. In primary
It's
school,
good, isn't it?
I was like told, you can put your hand up and ask questions. I was a non-verbal to my teachers.
From one extreme to another.
I think there might have been only my year 7 teacher that heard my voice, and conversations were minimal, but they happened. I had a conversation.
You were
in year
transitioning
7.
into having words.
In year 7, I had
That's
a
about 12, 13 years of age, right?
conversation
Okay, yep.
with my She was into politics. Oh my god.
Oh, well, there you go. That's natural to bring out
That
some
was
interest
it.
in you.
It was like, you're my best friend.
Okay.
But cut your nails. The chalkboard it was real.
Sensory
Wasn't a
overload again.
saying in this lady's life.
Right.
She used to have long
So just to finish off that
nails.
story about the counsellor, did they have
Fucking
anything
annoying.
particular while you're asking questions about this
So
time?
she said, look, that's a primary school thing.
What, putting your hand up?
Yeah.
Asking questions?
She said that's very minimal. You only do that in high school if it's, quite something big or whatever.
And what,
I don't
epiphany?
know. And then speak to the teacher after or before class, and I'm like,
Speak
but
to
I've
the
got
teacher
running,
before or after?
I've got running club in the morning.
Oh, God.
Then I've got a shower. I don't
Silly
want to
process.
stink. So that's not
sometimes
going to
wonder what
work for
some
me.
teachers
And then
are actually there for.
afterwards, it's like, no, I've got to go to theatre arts because that's where we hang.
And what about in the moment?
That's where we hang in
When
the
something's
theatre
said in
arts
the moment,
room.
it's actually
Because you know
worthwhile
what?
asking the
The
question,
theatre
isn't it?
arts room is a sensory heaven because you've got the sound box.
Okay.
You just go up into the sound box and you just sit there. This is when no one's working in the sound box, by the way.
'Cause it's
That's
soundproof.
really annoying
Yeah.
when they play with little things
Sliders.
and lights flashing.
Flashing
Can
lights.
you stop doing that, guys?
That's his job.
No, stop it. It's annoying. Can you just go home?
The theatre arts.
And
cute.
I'm sitting in the back of the the
You
box
call it-
with
you're
the
about to call it
music,
sensory
and they
room,
have
but
the
yeah,
things and they have
the
the light.
sliders,
Anyway, in theatres they have that
Panel,
at the
yeah.
back, and it goes down to the stage. And
I've-
I sit in there for
I've
peace
spent-
and quiet.
Spent many years there myself. I was
Don't
a
ever
sound
go to a
engineer.
recording studio because not with ADHD. You've got to be quiet, but sing.
When you're told to.
I want to clap. I want to.
We cannot add in extra noise.
I want to do all that.
You
and
can't
it's
rustle.
like, can you keep still?
No, she can't actually.
And I'm
yes
like-
to that.
Oh, why? Because we can hear it.
Okay, I think we're deviating off with the
That's
ADHD.
what the men said with the
let's bring that back in again.
And
Let's focus back onto the conversation.
then the spirits would
Theory
come
of
in the last 8
autism
months.
suggests that individuals on the
Ruin it.
spectrum may experience delayed processing, impacting their ability to respond quickly and effectively in social and cognitive.
So yes, I couldn't ask questions, but and then even that at school was a problem. I would, and even a therapist had an issue with it. Stupid bitch. I actually, sorry,
No filters here today.
sorry.
That's
She
okay.
wasn't. She's not a bad person.
I don't know about that one. I would have reported her in a heartbeat. But anyway, let's keep going past that one. Yes.
She had a bad partner. I think.
No, she was bad as well,
When I
sweetie.
look at it now, I think.
Shouldn't be
I think
practicing.
no. I think she had
Yeah.
a bad partner.
Yeah.
But basically, let's not even go there. It's
Let's
a
not go there.
story.
Let's bring it back around again.
It's a story.
It's a story. There's so many stories.
Weird
We
story.
don't have enough time. Keep coming
But
back.
basically, I'd say to her, last week we spoke about this, but you know what? That's stupid. This is really what it is. Because I processed it. And
Mhm.
she'd be like, no, whatever we said last week was it. And I'd be like, no.
What is it? What, chiseled in the slate, in stone? Once it is said, this is the Ten Commandments.
well,
You
obviously
cannot
I'm
go back and
overthinking.
repeat. There's no
Obviously,
liquid
obviously
paper.
I'm
for it.
overthinking probably is another assumption, the same assumption again.
No, I'm going to take that scenario for the moment.
Now,
'cause-
other people use other things. It
Hold on.
might be no, hang on. Let me just
Yeah.
tell you the things that you might hear, just in case you're suffering this.
Yep.
They might call you overthinking, anxious.
Anxious,
They might say that you're too
Stressy.
sensitive.
sensitive.
You need to stop thinking about other people, and you're like,
Let-
but I'm not thinking about other
Let
people.
it be. Let
Okay?
it go.
Not unless it's a really good conversation. Then you do think about that conversation again.
Okay, yep.
Wow. Because you want to then sometimes might maybe expand upon that conversation and learn
Yeah,
more,
sure.
Well, I'm a forever learner. I'm just addicted.
We should be anyway.
I'm addicted to
It's the
learning.
best thing for your
no,
brain.
The neurotypicals.
What?
Can I just
What do
clarify
they do?
this? They
What do
don't like it.
What's dumb?
Okay? They get frustrated. They're like, I don't want to learn more.
Oh, that's silly.
I don't want to learn it. That's a school thing.
If you don't use it, you lose it. Keep
Okay.
using your brain. Keep
Homo
developing it all.
sapiens are lazy.
Well,
It's in psychology.
true.
University
They'll avoid
psychology
as much
tells
as
you
they
this.
can.
The first thing I learned in
I
psychology.
guess that's why there's an obesity
Psychology
epidemic.
101,
Yeah.
class 101. Homo sapiens are lazy,
That was your first lecture, day one.
and
Okay.
half of you will be gone next
week.
Next week.
And there were.
And we laughed.
It's actually normally about 40% attrition rate.
I think the lecturer's a bit of a dick. Sorry. But what an idiot. We come back second lecture the next week.
Yep.
You have one lecture each week.
Yep.
You have 2 psychology major lectures each week, but that was one.
Yeah.
We come back to that one, Psychology 101, so she called it Psychology 101.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for everyone to turn up. We're like, no way.
Yep, first 21 days, first 3 weeks of
These
university.
people know
The transitions
our
between
minds.
units, courses, subjects.
We started to freak out. We're like, they know our minds.
Well, they should do. That's what the whole year of
no,
psychology
but then by
is.
the end of psychology, we were like, it's not really that. It's not really like that, guys.
Yeah.
Then again, some of us are quite intuitive, but yeah.
I want to come around to one of the strategies that I've seen you employ because of its delayed processing and thinking time, where you don't always have the opportunity to go because you've had that 72 hours, that 3 days, you've done the social stories around it, you've reflected, you've thought, you've looked at it from all different lenses and angles and perspectives. You've come up with your solution.
I've handed in assignments and gone, no shit, hang on.
You want to take your assignment back
No!
because you then had reflection time.
That's not the
This is
right
why you don't leave
question
assignments to the
answer.
last day. You have plenty of time
It's
to
a
reflect.
good essay, but it didn't answer the question.
Okay,
Fuck.
so one of the strategies I've known Diane to do, you will
And then they come back and they say that brilliant essay would have been a HD.
high distinction,
Except
the exception part,
this is the
but-
direction of what we said.
like Animal Farm.
And I'm like, yeah, I get you now.
Animal
But
Farm
I
is
thought
not
it
about
was
the
that
animals.
way.
Yeah.
Oh no.
If you haven't heard the story about Animal Farm and Diane, leave it to another one. But do ask her in the comments, hey Diane, tell me about Animal Farm and why it's not about animals. Anyway, one of the strategies I've noticed Diane to do is upon reflection, retrospection, she will then write things down, and then she will, because you've got to, if you don't get it out of you somehow, it becomes like a constipation of a thought and an emotion or a feeling. But it's also important for you to address the situation. So you will write it down as note points to be able to hopefully address it. Or you'll send an email or a message to say, well, look, now that I've had time to reflect,
And the person's
to
like,
think,
sorry, what the fuck?
to ponder,
Why
here's
are
my
you
answer
telling
now.
me now?
But how do you deal with that? Because I think your strategy is great, that
They
you
think
actually
I'm crazy.
process and go through
They
things.
think I'm crazy because it's like, but you're so cognitive. I'm like,
If they only knew.
yes, but socially I'm stupid. Okay, you take me to a party and
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that person to say? What do they
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean? What do they mean? They just asked this. It's like, how did you get that
Yeah.
from that?
So this really comes
What?
to this sensitivity
Ugh.
to
I don't go to parties,
time, context.
Unless I know everyone.
There's a lot of studies
no, I do,
and
but
reasoning styles that
they
you
have to be
do
tolerant.
need, and you do have to have that allowance for time. Time in all of its essences.
Yes.
But to also to be able to come back around to go, well,
I
here
was
is
like
my
facial
answer.
blindness.
Here is my
You should
assignment.
have seen me at
Here's
like,
what I want to do.
like the facial blindness, the place I went to for the opening.
Yes.
They went to the evening, and all these people
And
that
events
knew
we
me
went to.
from my art exhibition, they're all coming up to me. God, I felt quite famous. It's really nice. If that's what it's like to feel famous, but I wouldn't want that all the time. That would be quite stressful.
For an autistic, I think so.
Overload.
Yeah.
That's
Who are you?
nice.
You
Okay,
know me?
I
You
know
bought my
you
art?
all
You
know
like
me.
me?
But please
That's nice.
stop. Please just pretend you don't. Mask.
Accommodate.
I have to mask. But basically, they're like, but when you got facial blindness as well, it's like, oh yeah, and you watch all of them go, for fuck's sake, like, where the fuck were you?
But even
And they're all thinking I'm like pondering or something. It's like, no, I've got facial blindness, but I haven't got time to give them the
Oh,
actual
jeez.
rundown on what facial blindness is.
And it is a true implication of that. And even your own doctor, who
is.
you've known for 8 years, if you were to
I'm
see
always
him
like-
in another context, and we've sometimes
Ah,
said that, if
there
you were to
he
see
is.
your doctor out of the surgery, out of the clinic room, say you saw him at the markets
I
or
wouldn't
at a shopping
see him.
centre, you'd go,
I wouldn't see
you
him.
just walk past and go,
I just walked past him.
and he'd be going, but die, hi. That's
I feel-
facial blindness.
And I've had people like when when you leave high school and you go shopping, and your local shopping centre, and mine was Whitford City, which if anyone knows north of Perth
Northern
in the old
suburbs.
days, that's the
Yeah.
only shopping centre apart from Carrinup, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'd go shopping, you're driving in your car at 17 and you go shopping,
So cool.
right? So cool
So
because
cool.
you got like some money to spend and stuff.
Right.
and it's, you know, your friends would be like screaming from the other side of the shopping centre because you're all got your independent lives. You're starting to go, but you're still in touch, right? Because you're still living at home in the same suburb. And people would be like, Diane, Diane. And I'm like, who's that fucking idiot screaming at me? It's like, is that a person I know? How come they know my name? I'm like, I start squinting, thinking, is it my eyesight? I didn't know what it was, and then they're like,
yeah, it's a true
didn't
thing.
you see me? I was right in front of you. I was like, sorry. And they're like,
who are you?
but they know me. They, like, guys, my friends were so, like, they just were like, come on, sweetie, come with me.
It's okay.
It's all right. Okay, you're a dickhead. You're a dickhead.
People get to know your behaviours, and that comes
You're
back
a
around now.
dumbass,
It's a
but
good,
we love
it's a good
you.
segue into the
It's
accommodation.
like Kaylin, you know Kaylin, who's is a famous autistic.
Yeah, Love on the Spectrum.
From Love on the Spectrum.
Season 1, yep.
Doesn't her housemate call her, like, the golden retriever that she just wants to keep?
Yeah.
That's my friends. They were always like, oh, here she is. Good morning, Di. Oh, good morning. That's so cute.
It's like a fun toy, isn't
I love your pigtails.
Normally.
Aww.
I love your hairband. Sparklies, honey.
That's
very
how
pretty.
it was.
Look at that.
I'd come to school and it was like, that's how I survived high school, was just being the...
So, I want to talk around this though. There's two parts. First of all, accommodations. What needs to be made? How can people assist in this process? How can neurotypicals assist you being autistic? But also, what's the impact on you because of having this? How does that affect your life? How does that affect you in social interactions? How does it affect you in business or even medical?
Oh, it's not good for business.
Medical?
It's not good for business. Because my intuition is going tick, 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 and I know that business is timely.
Right. And
right? Business people want to be timely.
And doctors.
And I respect that.
Time constraints.
I don't disagree with the fact that that's how life has to be.
But?
Because of how life's been built by neurotypicals.
Okay.
Okay? But I can't change who I am either.
No. So is the
So
world
we
going to
have
accommodate?
to come together.
That's why the Australian
And
government's writing this autism
thank
guidelines.
the people that come together with me. And there are a lot of people in my life. I am blessed. I do have some that come to that level. But sometimes they get told off for coming to my level.
Yeah.
That's what fucks that up. I'll tell you that right now, straight forward. They get told off for coming to my level, and it's like, you're getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong. This person got it right. So basically, what I need...
What else do I need to accommodate?
Because the intuition we have, but I'm going to design intuition cards for autistics because there's a gap.
A project for it.
We have alexithymia. I don't know if you're aware, but if you've got alexithymia, you must get these emotions cards.
Emotion regulation cards.
They're not just for like regulating. I know that there's people that have different mental illnesses that need regulating. It's not that kind of regulating that we need. It's a little different.
Identification,
it's very similar.
Realization. It's
very similar, but it's a little different. It turns into social stories. And as soon as we can identify our emotions, then we can find the remedy.
The response.
We move on. With someone with a mental illness, they don't move on like that. It's different. But emotions cards are used for them too. Great. But I want intuition cards to be made for this reason. So at the beginning, when you first have a first meeting with me, I will just like be shooting from some intuition, so I'll get some things right.
From the gut,
But then I will people please and mask because it's just
guaranteed.
I know that you want things in the moment. Because you're forcing me, not by
compliance.
You're not forcing me in a sense of maybe intentionally. Maybe some people are. Yes, some of them will be. But most of them probably aren't. Most of them are doing it like, I've got things I've got to do.
Tick the box.
I've got to do things. So tell me. And I'm going, oh.
Overloaded.
I've got the intuition of like,
overloaded.
Yes or a no, but I can't explain, especially when you guys want to know why yes or no. It's like, I need 3 days for that. But I didn't have the words for that. I do now. So then I need, and this is what I will be doing from now on, I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to tell you what I think I want and need. But in 3 days, we need to reconvene
I like
this.
that. You've used the word think, which is not a
because it
rock
might
solid
be
concrete.
completely different
contract
once I
here.
process, because
I'm
I might
thinking about it now.
be forgetting a massive variable here.
Yeah, you've got things to consider still.
And people pleasing too much, because
Yep.
it depends too. And this is the thing too that autistics learn, and then it becomes you learn it for autism, and then you learn it because of the autism rejection factor.
Yep.
Autistics get rejected,
And it's a social consequence.
in it, not just socially, but in business, in everything. We get
Or punished,
rejected or
punitively.
punished.
Yep.
So we will and then also, because we're adults, we have choices, right? That's good, but it makes it harder.
Mm-hmm.
The more choices you have, the harder the decision is to make. And the more we respect the person we're working with, the harder the decision is to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do want to get it right for the other person as well as for yourself equally.
I'm going to say something.
So it's a big deal.
This is the part where
You
autism
need 3 days
does become a
to work it out.
disability. I'm going to say it again.
Needs
A
accommodation.
lot of people don't actually understand this. Autism in this aspect can become a disability. Let me just talk around that for a moment, because it is a neurocognitive disorder. And with that being a disability, we need then accommodations of allowances. Here's one of the scenarios that has actually occurred over the years because there hasn't been accommodations made. One of the reasons where Diane's health hasn't been actually managed and supported and treated is because of natural autistic behaviours. How do you manage in a time-sensitive doctor appointment or a specialist appointment the feeling of stresses that go around with sensory overload or in pain?
The more pain I'm in, the quieter I am.
The absconding that actually occurs.
Do you think that helps a person? Because guess what I've heard? The more pain neurotypicals are in, the more they scream. I mean, it's a bit like when I dislocated my shoulder. These 2 ambos are going, why are you not screaming? This is not normal. Grown men scream at this. So autistics that's why on the Autism Spectrum Card of Australia, it says in one of the things, may respond completely different to, responses
Stimuli.
to things.
Yep. Now, here's one last part I'm going to actually say. As a consequence of where Diane is at, she is needed an interpreter in life, a person to be a guardian to be able to help and assist navigate through the neurotypical world, where there's no allowances and accommodations being made, and when the ramifications of that, the ramifications of that are then delayed or poor or medical neglect and negligence because they don't do the right thing. They don't allow accommodations in time. Now, I don't actually respect that, because I'm really frustrated that Diane is disempowered as an individual, as a person, that she does not actually get the empowerment of allowances of accommodation for her style. You can't just take the disability from the person. You can't just take the autism or the ADHD or the OCD or the Tourette's or the neurocognitive things with seizures. If you've got a diagnosis and it's a known thing that this is going to be the outcome because of it, GDD, global developmental delays, IDD, intellectual developmental delays, auditory processing, communicating related issues. If you know these things up fucking front, and you know them because you've got a diagnosis, then why are you not treating the person with an understanding, compassion, and empathy around that, and then providing the supports and accommodations to allow them to succeed, fulfill their life, and be part of their journey themselves as individuals? Choice and control. And that's my say on that. Because otherwise, all you're doing is you're stealing it away from the person, or you're reliant on someone else to take the... And that ruins, in a partnership, their relationship phase, which I don't also like. But it also disempowers the person, which I also don't like. And that's not right.
And you get labelled, especially some of you have to be careful out there, you'll get labelled mental, and you'll believe it because they're good at tricking you. So as an autistic, you must protect yourself and explain 100%. And learn about your own autism, because if you read the Autism Guru's books, you'll end up saying, this is what you'll end up saying, and I promise you, because go read them and then come back to me in a year or so and you'll say, oh my gosh, Di, you were right. Okay, I realised, because this is what I realised when I read up on what is autism. Just because you have it doesn't mean you understand yourself. Just like anything. And it's harder to understand yourself because you're autistic. We live in a very raw way. We don't We don't actually overthink. That's our problem. We're too in the moment, right? We're not actually, we're deep thinkers in the sense of our special interests, but don't mistake that for being deep thinkers in general. No, we're not. We're actually kind of like, we'll walk in front of a car. We are mindless sometimes. Absent-minded professors is what some people would call it.
Yeah.
But basically, you know, we need definitely time to process, but we can actually cut that back, I believe, with intuition cards, which I'm going to work on designing. But more than that, just if you are aware with working with an autistic specifically, because this is really where it needs to come in, because autistics and autistics can do this. They tend to work this out in their relationship. It tends to work out with autistics together. But when you're dealing with someone that's more neurotypical and there's an autistic involved, what I will tell you, working with that autistic, is you can help the situation by slowing down the process, as in, okay, I'm having a meeting, but I'm not going to cover 10 things in the meeting. Don't be stupid. Do 2 things.
Okay, so reduction
And
of
have
quantity.
3 meetings in that week that are shorter.
So splitting them out so that you can
Yep.
actually focus but have
Yep.
the time for reflection.
That might even prevent the person saying, oh, I need 3 days to process. No, actually I need 5.
One of the things, and look, it could
possibly
very
happen.
hard
Save
to get
everyone time.
accommodations
Me,
in a neurotypical world. One of the things that I have felt that has been of benefit sometimes in the earlier stages of accommodation is the supply of the meeting will be about this. Here are the dot points. Here are the things that we are going to have that conversation. If you've received that information in advance, it allows you to do actually think, to reflect, even to create. This is my responses or what I want to get out of it.
That's exactly what I used to do with my therapist, which she used to fuck up every time.
Sorry.
Stupid. And she was also, oh, that's a good idea, and then just decided to turn. No, she turned it into actually a negative of it being a manipulative thing of me. But listen to this. Neurotypicals. If you are autistic, the best advice I would give in this situation, exactly, is what you're saying, is, and this has to be received by any of you working with autistics. You have to accept this too, because it doesn't work if you don't. I need to write down, it might be a 1-page document if it's a very important meeting, and you need to respect this into the level of importance. If this is a big thing in this autistic's life, give them a 1-page document at least, for goodness sake, to say what they feel, because they've had time to process and write it, and then you read it and come to the meeting and talk about it. Okay? Because you're going to get the truth in that 1-page document, and it will save you time.
It seems like it's going to be a better outcome.
It's going to save you time. If you don't do that, if you don't, or if you don't do dot points, if maybe it's a more not milder, I guess like a lesser important thing to get done, something simple to get done, 1 point that has to get done or whatever. You could do a few dot points. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, if you don't do that, you could be going in circles for weeks to months. Yeah. I'm not kidding.
And that's the consequence.
And misunderstandings. We need to make a song about it.
We're taking your own epiphany today, which really is putting together in words what you've already known and been doing for a long period of time.
Medicine is
and
the
I'm
letter
hoping that
dot point.
Today we've shared with you an insight into one of the major attributes and consequences of autistic behaviours, things that are difficult because of the processing, the need for additional time, thought, reflection, thinking time, processing, social stories to actually consider,
and the other
then
problem
deliver a response to that.
With this is the training is great. I know that all training is probably going to be different, so I bet you there is some bad training and good training. We all know that happens in life. Absolutely. In general with any training, but also it depends on that. But then there's some people want it succinct,
simple.
When you're dealing with the mind, so if it's dementia, if it's autism, if it's someone with a very severe mental illness like schizophrenia or something like that, I'm sorry, but you're not going to learn it short.
Hmm.
You will always be almost like, what do they call it? Like the sous chef of the chef world. You're always going to be pushed to the back. You're always going to need a front person. And who's that front person going to be? So if you don't have at least a couple of front people, if you're going to do training for autism, if you don't have a couple of front people that go deep, there's misunderstandings galore going to happen, and it's going to actually waste time. And I believe in, particularly if it's business and it affects two people, the business and the person. It's life.
Here's another reflection on this for you.
You can absolutely streamline it perfectly to save so much time by what I'm saying.
In this conversation today, we're declaring this as an issue. We're asking for accommodations, but let's see if there's a bit of a pushback. What if people say, no, I'm not going to make accommodations. I'm not going to make allowances for that. It's all on you. That's your problem, your thought. Can you, for example, if we're talking about in the autism world, things like ABA therapy, can you change? Can you do this differently at 51 years of age?
That's
can
all
you
I've
learn
done. Well,
differently?
I think that I can speak for the majority of autistics, because I don't think there's an autistic that doesn't try to keep improving. I actually think that the problem with autistics is
We're always self-learning.
we're overwhelmed with trying to change.
Yeah.
And if one thing I can say for psychology towards, especially with so much bad psychology on autistics at the moment, I want to say this. If you are feeling just not good enough all the time you're trying to go to therapy and improve your autism, if you're feeling worse, then you are being above and beyond what you're capable of.
Expected of, yeah.
Which means, I'm sorry, neurotypicals, you all need to go to therapy, please, and be a better person.
And understand the
Be
differences in other people.
perfect. We want you perfect. No, you've got things to work on. How come can't autistics just be let to grow and learn?
And this is the
We are a person.
acceptance
We
and
have the
understanding
same.
component of
We
the
have the
condition.
same urge,
Yep.
the same want to learn to be a better person as neurotypicals. There is no study to say that we are less inclined.
No. And that's my point. We can't use CBT or DBT.
Unless there's
We cannot
PDA,
use
which is
behavioural
pervasive
therapy.
demand avoidance. That can come into things, but that is not an issue unless you would see it. You would see the person literally have a meltdown at brushing their teeth, at going to bed.
And that's a different thing again.
This and
that's
that,
avoidance of
everything.
selective things. But my point is we cannot
Extreme.
use cognitive behavioural therapy, DBT, behavioural therapy in general. We can't re-educate or relearn. And you can't also medicate out of this. This is
That
what
happens.
autism is. This is the part of even classical autism. This is understanding what the condition and the limitations or the disability component of the condition is, and therefore accepting it, and because of acceptance, allowing for accommodations to fulfill that person's success.
I choose the social model of human rights being both ends need to be understood. The person has to be fairly assessed on whether they're doing their best. If they're doing their best, and even if sometimes they're not, just like a neurotypical gets a little bit like naughty,
good day, bad day.
lazy, a little bit cheeky, give her those allowances and be fair and equal and not discriminative. Second, other people's demands of whoever they are, social, medical,
work, employment, community, whatever it might be.
Community, parental, whatever. Are you being fair on that person of expectations? If all those things are healthy, and the person, is struggling, then it is time to make the changes that I've suggested.
Take this knowledge as well. Children who are autistic, teenagers who are autistic, adolescents who are autistic, become adults who are autistic. You don't suddenly
The
at 18
transition is hard
disappear with
from
the
childhood
autism, by the
to
way.
adulthood. The transition is very difficult from childhood to adulthood.
And
the more
everything
we are aware of being sort of like, and I'm saying like with IDD, the higher the mental age, the more we learn, the more we do understand certain things and realize, Right. Yeah, that's embarrassing.
And that's
isn't
my point
it?
of transference.
So
This conversation reflects whether you're a little
it's
child,
a spectrum.
teenager, young adolescent, or an older adult.
Yes.
All phases, all stages of the continuum of the life cycle
Treat
development
them based
of
on
the
their
autistic.
social age too.
I think today's been a really
Hang
good
on.
conversation.
Treat them
Mhm.
developmentally to the social age.
Yep.
If you don't, and if the psychiatrist isn't backing that up, then they are failing at their job miserably.
Well, making accommodations for the
they
condition.
are really doing the wrong thing and their license will be revoked. So a person must be treated for the developmental age that they are
them to do
socially.
differently.
Okay? So if they can't do different, then, so for me, 18. Speak to me when it comes to serious things, okay? You have to understand that, yes, I'm going to act like an 18-year-old. I'm going to be impulsive. That sounds bloody good. And it might be. And I'll go for it.
Yeah.
And then everyone will go, that's so immature. And I'll go, well, it's me. Accept it or not. That's socially. Now, if I'm making a contract signing thing, you know how in some countries it's 21? For good reason. In Australia, it's 18. I don't believe in that. I believe it should be 21.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Maturity of development in those
But
3 years.
basically, what I'm saying is, I, at social age of 18, should not be making in the moment decisions on any business or any contract or anything serious. In my opinion.
I agree totally. Look, thank you so much
for
the
for me.
personal
Your social
insights.
age, wherever you are on the spectrum is completely different.
And we are
Please
all
make a
individuals
decision
and
based
different.
on your person or yourself on what level or what spectrum
Great
of
points.
autism you have.
I'm sure the people at home are going to see these as great points, very intuitive,
I
understanding,
hope so.
insightful to what you go through, but what other autistics on the spectrum might also go through. If you do like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up of encouragement.
And feedback below,
Feedback,
because
comments,
I'm not
questions,
the only
ideas,
autistic
suggestions.
with this problem.
You're not the only autistic in the village.
It's a big problem
It's a big
for
problem
me.
out there. That's why the Australian government's now putting together a plan involving autistics and community groups to actually feed that insight. So please
comment below your experience. I would love to hear it.
Yeah. And for people that work with us, meetings, medical, whatever it might be in the future, hopefully they can take on board this insight, even the staff that they work with us, so that they can see the impact of autism and how, if they are neurotypical, they have to actually realise accommodations to suit you.
If every course says, no, I am like completely 100% the best course ever, guaranteed, then no, guys, no one knows it all. Everyone has something to contribute about autism who has autism. So make sure, it's a bit like when you look at university. How many references by third year do you need? It's normally like 14 to 21. Okay, go to 14 to 21 people and listen to the topic. And then make your decision, please.
Informed decision, definitely. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that
intelligence.
notification bell. Share our channel far and wide. It's going to help us reach out into the YouTube community, into the Ethernet, so that other people can find us and be part of this conversation. Don't forget, we've got a community section now where you can engage on our channel, post information.
Comment.
Well, we can make comments, but they're more generic comments. We can engage at that level, but not directly. We can't respond to those comments.
Yeah,
we can like them.
So I'm sorry about that, because I'm like, you guys are all saying wonderful things, and I want to speak back to you all, especially you, Madison Shoemaker. I'm so sorry.
Missed that one.
Like, I'm not on TikTok, and basically, you know, I'm glad you're still here. I can't comment back on that comment. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So
YouTube is still evolving.
Keep commenting though. It's wonderful, the comments, but I'm just saying I apologise that
the community section is a section which allows you as the user to engage with the channel and our community. It enables you to be able to also upload, whether it's a link or a picture.
Photos of your pets if you want.
We want to see your pets. We want to see your budgies. We want to see your cats. We want to see your llamas. If you don't have a llama, why not? You should have one. Share thoughts about. You know what? Even share whatever your disability is. Like if there's a little. We love to hear and understand.
You know, sometimes they have it on Google search and they'll have a little meme that talks about your disability or whatever. Feel free to post it up there, because others can then like go, oh, that's a good one. They might
We're
relate
learning
to you.
ourselves, and it's very
Yeah.
interesting. The more, and I've done this for
For
decades,
you guys to engage as well.
using the internet to share and find information, and it's amazing.
It's great.
The hive mentality that's out there is great because we can actually not reinvent the world, but we can actually share and find more information. Are you buzzing? All right, guys, we're going to buzz right off and enjoying our Sunday. We'll see you in another episode real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.